Today we have a very special guest. His name is Vern Lovic. He's currently living in Krabi in the south of Thailand in the Andaman Sea. He's been an expat for almost 2 decades since 2004, living in Thailand. Originally from the USA, but has lived all over in Hawaii, New York, and Florida. He has a master's degree in psychology. And ever since 1996, he's been in a tech industry and has created and sold multiple online businesses. He's a father, husband, U.S. Air Force vet, and has a meditation YouTube channel. He's an accomplished writer, a published author, and is currently running two websites, Thailand Snakes and Jahana8.com, which is a meditation website, which I'll be providing all the links below. And he has over 10 published books, which can be found on Amazon. And in 2004, he sold everything, his house in Florida, to escape the Matrix, to permanently move to the Kingdom of Thailand. And in 2013 is when he met and married his Thai wife, and currently has two children, ages 13 and 3, and just pretty much living the ideal life and a happily married man living in Krabi. So what is up, Vern?
How's it going, Eric? Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's weird to think that it's been 2 decades, but wow. Yeah, struggling sometimes and yet making it other times. And yeah, overall it's been a very good ride. It's been the right thing to do was to come to Thailand, really.
But happy, right?
Yeah, I was happy from day one. And there are drawbacks. I mean, there are things that make you angry during the day or something, but overall I'm still here 18 years later, so yeah, it's not really that bad at all, is it? A lot of people gripe about it, many things to gripe about, but in general there may be no better place to be. I'm not sure.
Right on. So Vern, I kind of feel like I'm following in your footsteps because first off, I want to say you have quite the story, quite an adventurous story. And I too have been to Thailand, all over Bangkok, Chiang Mai, Phuket, and Pattaya, almost a little over 15 years ago, probably. And yeah, it's a very special place. And I too lived in Florida for my flight training, for about a year and a half. Clearwater,
right where I
in fact.
was.
Yeah,
right where
in
I
fact, I
was.
had a house near Clearwater, Sand Key. I used to go down to Sand Key a lot.
Oh wow,
Just
yeah.
it's about 15 minutes from Sand Key. But yeah, I ended up moving closer to my home airport that I was flying out of Zephyr Hills. But living in a trailer out there for for a year or so. But yeah, trailer life, whew, it's rough, man. But that small quarters, it eventually does get to you. But eventually I got moved into a house after a year in a trailer. I just couldn't take it in a house. But I had a house in Clearwater too, so that was kind of like my little vacation
Getaway.
house when I moved to Zephyr Hills. But anyway, yeah. So you guys know I'm from Hawaii, born and raised, so pretty much been here my whole life. So have a lot in common with you, Vern.
Sounds like it. Yeah. Well, you were lucky enough to be born in Hawaii, but I had to join the military, the Air Force, to go to Hawaii. So, and I didn't know what would it be like. That was my first jump from high school to military, because I got accepted to college, but I thought, oh, I really want to get out of Pennsylvania. Why not just get out? And I took a risk and just luckily got to Hawaii. But yeah, even going to Hawaii, I could have changed. I could have swapped with somebody my job and gone to another state, because there were many people going in Montana, Florida, South Carolina. And I thought, should I exchange with them and they can go to Hawaii instead? Maybe, I don't know. Back then, this was 1984. We didn't have internet, so I could check out Hawaii. Like, what's going on? Where could I live? How much are things? Is there a place to go for nightlife? Is there, like all of this stuff? We had no idea. We had the Brady
Mhm.
Bunch goes to Hawaii. That's what I knew of Hawaii. So it was a leap of faith, and it worked out well. Like, Hawaii is a very special place, and
Mhm.
always want to get back there. Yeah,
Very
so it's similar to Thailand in
mhm.
some ways. Other ways, no. What do
very
you
ex
think?
I think there's really no perfect place to live in the world. Like every place is gonna have its advantages and disadvantages.
Yeah,
Hawaii is somewhat of a paradise, but I mean the cost of living here is just, probably ranked one of the highest in the nations, maybe even in the world. It's just so expensive.
yeah, it's unbelievable.
But there's a price to pay for anywhere you go. There's really no perfect like living situation.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's definitely changing, and it changed a lot. I'm sure since when you last been here, which is what
yeah.
in the 80s.
No, 2000. And I came back
Oh,
for
you
two
came back.
years. Yeah, I went to Oahu for a year and Maui for a year, and I worked for some tech industries there. But yeah, I had to come back, so I came back 2002 to 2004.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just for a short time.
Mm.
Yeah, paradise.
Okay, just so for viewers, I'm gonna just kind of go over a brief outline of what this interview is gonna be about. So if you guys like the topics, yeah, feel free to stick around. Just pretty much when we went over Vern's backstory, life in Krabi, um, how Vern makes a living supporting not only himself but a family in Krabi in southern Thailand. How else, how other Falang make a living there. Falang is foreigner. Biggest challenges living in Thailand, the Thailand economy, how the country is changing, and Thailand is really not as cheap as people think, and especially how times are changing. Um, especially in bigger cities like Bangkok. We're also gonna be discussing how Hawaii is changing, and lastly the conclusion. So stick around if you guys like what you guys hear from a person coming from a person who's almost 4 decades living in Hawaii, a guy that's living in Thailand, who's been living in Thailand for almost 2 decades. Stick around. We have some really in-depth information for you folks, especially if you're looking to move to Thailand and escape, you know, this matrix that everyone is talking about. Um, okay, so I guess Vern, so why don't you let us know when did you first go to Thailand? Like, did it all start off from a vacation? I guess it all starts off from a vacation, right?
Sort of.
Or why don't you tell us about
I was
that?
already 38 years old, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
was living in Florida. I had a house and I was making enough. Like, I was making plenty. I kept making more money because in tech, that's what happens back then anyway. And, but I was disillusioned because the more money that I made, I wasn't happier. And I just thought I want to break the cycle and see what happens. Like, I'm going to go to Asia. I didn't know where yet, and I want to see how do other people live across the world, and is it different? Because I had read a lot of Eastern religion books. I had meditated, and I thought maybe it's a completely different world, and maybe I'll find happiness over there. So I thought I'll come for a year. I finally decided on Thailand because the food is amazing. The climate is perfect for me. I like Hawaii's climate as well. Florida, I lived there for so long, and I like the hot and the humid. And I just thought I can get over the food probably for a year. I've met some Thai people in Hawaii back where I lived in Florida. Um, I could get along with Thai people probably. And I just thought, come for a year, see what happens. Came for a year, immediately meet this girl, immediately. up in the Northeast in Ubon, Ratchathani, where I was going to teach for a little bit to see if I liked teaching because I didn't know. So I just thought, I'll teach for a little bit. Met this girl who's going to be my assistant, and she spoke English already. This Thai girl, and I was like, wow. And she was making jokes with me in the interview when I was
Mhm.
trying to hire somebody, and I just thought, oh, yeah, I'll hire you immediately. But anyway, I fell in love with her so quick, and so we've been together 18 years here
Mm.
since say 3 months after I got here. So that was that, and I never felt the need to leave. After that, it was just because
Mm.
she made it easy too. Like as you have told me in previous conversations, yeah, you need kind of a partner. You don't need, but it really helps. If you have somebody that speaks Thai, can help you do things, can help you maneuver through, all of the different things you have to get through to have a successful life here and to like your life here and love it. It really helps to have a partner. And
It should be a
so, yeah.
supportive one, especially, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. And Thai and American, I mean, our cultures, they don't overlap very
Mhm.
well. It's more like nothing makes, it's more like this, like nothing makes sense. And so you need somebody who also can see that and accept it for a while until you both figure out how to make it make sense more and more. Because really all of my friends, almost all of my friends have divorced already. There's very few Thais and Americans living together, or Thais and people from the UK or Australia. As you get older, it just becomes intolerable, the differences, and many people can't continue to face them. So it's uh but you can, I guess you can always go find somebody else, right? But
Mhm.
yeah, so we're making it work. We have two kids, daughters 13 and daughter 3. Um, they're both in private school. It's like public private school. They pay a little
Mhm.
bit, like uh, total like 2,000 a year dollars,
Mhm. Mhm.
and it's an English program. All of their classes in English, and so that's good.
Mhm.
We picked up grandma on the way because grandma was ill, lung problems, heart problems, things like that. So grandma lives with us.
No,
And
good
because
for you.
when we had our baby, like our 3-year-old, grandma really wanted to see the baby a lot. So we were like, yeah, come on. Because we had a pretty big house. And we're like, yeah, come on. And she's been just a joy, ever since. No problems, zero problems at all. Just benefit, to our family. So yeah, so the family life is good. I'm probably jumping way ahead. No, not really. Oh, we can go into
No, no, yeah,
I
this is all great info. So your wife is actually more from the like the suburb, the province side, more
way, yeah,
northern,
countryside,
northern.
yeah.
So we all know, like, I guess what the biggest city up north is Chiang Mai, right?
Chiang Mai, yeah.
Is that the biggest city, or maybe
That's the
Chiang,
biggest, yeah. Outside of Bangkok, yeah, that's the biggest.
right? So how
And then
many
we
how
have
how far
yeah.
away is she from Chiang Mai? Because there's like Chiang
Oh,
Rai and there's
way
like
far.
like like
She
hours.
like 90 degrees and way towards Laos is Ubon
Oh,
Ratchathani and Sisaket. Yeah, so she's 800 kilometers from there,
800
so
Wow,
500
okay.
miles.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very countryside. It's nothing like Chiang Mai or anything like that. She's from a very small city, Sisaket, and she went to school in Ubon Ratchathani, which is a fairly big city, maybe fifth biggest in Thailand or so, maybe sixth or seventh. And yeah, she went for hospitality and
Mm.
tourism and things like that. So
Oh
her
wow.
English was okay,
Oh wow. So she has so yeah, especially for someone that's so like off the beaten path,
for sure. Yeah,
So wow, she have a really good she's kind of educated too then, yeah, like
yeah, yeah,
especially but yeah, that's so crazy because I know a lot of people that go there, who end up staying there. It's always they get their start from teaching English because that seems like to be the most, the easiest path to be able to stay there, right? So
yeah.
you taught in a government owned school, a private, public. What was your
Yeah,
situation on that?
when I first got here, I taught in a public school just for a short while, and there's a story about that, but we'll have to do 3 of these podcasts.
Okay.
But yeah, then I moved to a private school, Assumption. It's like a
Mm,
Catholic sort of school, not really, but sort of. And then I just worked on my tech stuff. So I had a tech background, and so I could build websites, I could build businesses online, and so I just really focused on that, writing articles for my websites, building my websites to a point where I could sell them or keep them, whatever. But yeah, I just focused on that for about, well, and many things, but for over a decade for sure.
right on. And then where it was enough to for you to not need to teach, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't
And
need to
then
teach when I came over, I guess, because I had money saved. But
saved up.
yeah, I just thought I want to do something. I don't want to be stagnant and just vacation for the first couple of years. So I always thought I would like to teach
Yeah,
too. You
well,
know?
that's yeah. Well, it's always good to
Yeah.
just, it's a way to integrate with the local community and really
Mm,
understand, what the whole culture is about when you, especially
yeah,
when you
for
integrate
sure.
at the school level and the community level. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, because we all know, like, I mean, teaching English in Thailand, it doesn't pay well unless you're like have some kind of education degree or something,
Mm.
and, teaching, it just the pay, everyone knows that the numbers really, it's hard to
Yeah,
live
a lot of
comfortably.
I think a lot of people do it to supplement what they do have. So a lot of guys come here half retired or retired, and they have a small pension, and then the teaching just maybe doubles their pension. Then so then they have some spending money. They could live basically wherever they want in Thailand and live a simple life, but a good one. Probably better than the UK or spots in America or wherever. But yeah, that's why people
Right.
teach. It's some of the younger generation comes over to teach as a living, because they have no other income, and that's a little harder. That's because they also like to party and spend money too, right?
But unless you have an actual teaching certificate or a degree,
Degree, yeah.
to teach in your own country, especially, the West, a degree from the West, right? And you're a native English speaker. I mean, it's
Mm.
almost right. That's because the pay to get any kind of decent salary and to be able to live comfortably, you have to teach at an international school, right? So I've heard,
Sort
or
of. I mean, there are.
or
So
maybe. Mhm.
say you don't have that. Like I have a BA and an MA, but when I go to a school, I say, yeah, I don't have a degree in teaching, but I can still teach math or English or social studies or science or whatever, like any subject for primary school. And then for high school, I could teach some math. I taught up to M3, Math M3, which is like 13, 14 year olds. So I could still do that. You can make, so at one school, I made 45,000 baht a month. At another school, I made 30, this was a while ago, 34,000 maybe. And but you can supplement it, so you're not supposed to, but if you're a teacher at school and you have many parents asking you, can you teach my kid on the side, and then you
Mm,
can charge whatever you want, which is usually 300 baht an hour, 400 or 500 baht an hour. Get a small group of kids, you can make 1,500 baht an hour after school every day or every other day, whatever.
mm,
So that helps a lot. You can even open your own business as a teacher. You open your own business under a Thai business that's already established. They can work something out, and
mm.
yeah, you can have your own school if you want to. I was just talking to a guy that did that from California recently. So there, so teaching you can make enough money.
Mhm.
Even 35,000 is enough money for a single, for
Mm,
sure, in most places. Not really in Chiang Mai or Bangkok or Phuket, Patong Beach, but the smaller areas, yeah, sure,
mhm.
35,000. If you don't have other bills from home, if you don't have like an addiction to alcohol and need to drink, 50 beers, 50 big beers a week
Right.
or something, I mean, yeah, you can make it work for sure.
So if you guys don't know, 35,000 baht is roughly around what, 1,000 US dollars.
1,125 or so, yeah,
Mhm.
something like that.
That's a
Yeah,
good point you get. So you don't really have to have like a teaching degree, you can also you do these little side private lessons to supplement when once you get in to a
or do
private
something
school.
online. Do teach online if you want to, but do anything online just to make other money. For a time, my wife and I lived in a we paid we paid $90 a month for our rent for this little villa, this little flat connected to other flats. She was working in a travel agency making 8,000 baht, which is like $250
A month.
and a month. And I was trying to build our first website, Thai Pulse. And so we were making gradually like $1 a month, $5 a month through AdSense, Google AdSense,
Hmm.
$10 a month, $50 a month. Eventually, we built it up to a couple $100 a month. But for many months, we were living on $250.
Mm.
So that meant we went to get food and we couldn't buy like an extra Pepsi. You know, I have money in the bank, but I didn't want to. I just want to
Yeah.
see like, can we do this? And we did it. Couldn't do it now, but yeah, there are trade-offs. If you really want to live here and you really want to make it work, you can live very cheaply here. If you could live
Mm.
on, I'd say a single coming over here could live on today $700 or $800 a month, pretty easily.
Yeah, it all boils down to your lifestyle.
Yeah,
It
for
just,
sure. For
so
sure.
even with the cost of everything, inflation, global inflation, there's still areas in these, Southeast Asia or Thailand, that are still, very, very cheap to live, I guess, right? Even in this time, you know.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's super cheap, right? 800 bucks.
Mhm.
You could live in Thailand like that. You could live in Laos like that easily, and probably better in Laos because it's even
Mhm.
less is required. You could live in Cambodia for that. You could live in Burma for that. Malaysia, outskirts of Malaysia, yeah, like not in the big cities. You couldn't, but Indonesia, you could probably live different areas for that. Yeah, there's Philippines. Maybe I'm not all that up on the Philippines, but
Mhm.
something like a million expats over there from America in the
Yeah.
Philippines.
But
A lot of them are probably living on 800 bucks.
yeah, Thailand seems to be like one of the more expensive of those countries that you mentioned, but also you guys have fast internet there, compared to
Yeah, really.
those countries that you mentioned. Thailand's known for their, really fast internet speeds. So if you're making a living online or whatnot, it's all factors to think about.
True. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So I guess you kind of went over life in Krabi.
Yeah.
Krabi. What is the pronunciation, Vern?
Krabi.
Krabi. Okay.
Krabi. Yeah.
So yeah, how does it differ from like places like Phuket or like Koh Samui? Would you
Mm.
think Krabi is like one of the cheaper islands to live on? And there's like,
So Krabi is a mainland. It's part of the mainland, the
oh,
province, but we have islands. So we have Kopipi, we have Kopipi Yai, Kopipi Lek, like small island, big island. Kopipi Yai and Dawn, I think it is. I don't even know. I haven't even been there. It's
mm-hmm,
it's it's off the coast. I never went. It's too overbuilt for me. But yeah, so we have those islands. We have another two islands closer to Phuket. We have Koh Lanta. We have Koh Jam. We have Koh Sri Boya. Yeah, we have lots of islands. But Krabi itself is a mainland, and it's between Penga and Trang. And so whenever I was teaching 1 year in Suratani, which is up north a little bit, we used to come to Krabi on the motorbike. We would just blow down here on the motorbike on the weekends, and yeah, and so we got to see it and love it. Like there's no real nightlife here to speak of. There's no real like sex trade here to speak of. There's a local, there's local bars and stuff like that, local fish bowls and all of that. But it's much more subdued than like Phuket but
mm-hmm,
it's much more advanced or better infrastructure than Trong, which is even more country right on the beach also, and beautiful, stunning. islands and things that people don't really go see, but it's just a little too remote. Like I would rather have my family here because we have, if we want to, we go to a couple different pizza places or Indian food or stuff like that. You don't have it in Trong. But in Phuket, you have
Mm.
every
Mhm.
international food, right? Like
Yeah, I've been
you've
to
been there, yeah,
Phuket too, and it's
yeah.
very touristy,
Super touristy, super
expensive.
crowded, super expensive. Yeah, a little bit scary. You don't want to be out at night like drunk or something. A little bit scary for the family. More people on drugs and stuff for sure, like meth. And yeah, we just. I asked my wife when we were in Surat, like, where do you want to go next? Let's just go somewhere and live for a long time. And we both said here, so we just moved down here. It's quite nice. We have forests, we have mountains, we have ocean, we have many things to do. We have lots of national parks. We have decent schools. We have an international school here. We have an international hospital here. We have a couple little private hospitals. The local hospital, of course, which is nothing to talk about. But yeah, it's like we have everything here, basically. It's it's
Sounds
it's a nice
nice.
place for a family. Yeah,
It sounds like the perfect medium,
yeah, it does.
not too small of a community, yet you have everything that you need without the
Yeah,
craziness of Phuket and the high cost of Phuket, but yet,
yeah.
yeah, it sounds perfect.
It's pretty good. Yeah. So we've been here for 15 years, and it's been fine.
Mm.
There's ups and downs, and we think sometimes, oh, where could we go? There's nowhere to go. I mean, this is pretty much it. This is where
It's
we'll be, I
home.
think. Yeah, I realized the other day I was gonna die here. I'm probably gonna die in this city. It's kind of weird. Like, wow, I'm gonna die in this place. I don't know. It's just a weird thought.
I just see the thing. I think it's like one of those hidden gems because I don't people don't know about Krabi. Everyone knows
Yeah,
Phuket.
yeah.
Phuket or Koh Samui or yeah, and all those other places. But I think it's a hidden gem that you found there.
for for living, yeah, like in the mainland, it's awesome. The islands are also too crowded, just like Phuket. But yeah, the mainland is it's like a nice blend between everything you want, and yet you can get away like to the mountains and stuff, and there's not too many people. There's bungalows in the mountains and stuff. It's really quite nice. And then we don't have the floods and things that the north has, like Chiang Mai and Bangkok all have flooding often. We rarely. I think we had one flood in 2013. It wasn't that bad. We had to leave our house, but it wasn't really that bad. And so flooding is not a problem. It's warm here, but
And the pollution. You guys are away from the pollution. So yeah,
we have
I wanted to ask you, Vern. It's like because we all know it's a burning season right now, right? And so
yeah,
it has some Chiang Mai, northern Thailand, and especially sometimes Bangkok. As can't help to track the AQI during this season. And
yeah,
I remember looking at it, my app that Chiang Mai has had one of the worst air qualities. It was ranked number one as a worst air quality in the world. Beating
yeah.
out
It's horrible.
India and China and all that. This was last week. It was in the purple, but you know, my question is, and I'm looking at places like Phuket, like
Yeah,
Patong, let's say, and it's they're even affected to some degree. They're in the yellow on certain days where the wind is blowing a certain direction and whatnot.
they really shouldn't be. So that's probably from traffic.
Do
There's a
you
heck
guys?
of a lot of traffic there.
But do you, Vern? I just want you to know we have like 10 minutes on this interview. But are you guys affected by the smoke from the north? Like,
No.
can you smell it sometimes when the
Once or twice in 15 years. We got some from Indonesia. It
oh,
blew
it's
the
from
wind blew
okay.
the other way, and we got some. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
we had amazing sunsets, but yeah, almost always our air quality is really good,
Year round then, yeah.
exceptional. Yeah, that's good.
Good to
Do you
hear.
want to try to blow through the interview quick, or you
No,
want to do
no, no.
another one after this?
We can make
We
this
better do another one
yeah,
after.
we can make this like a three-part series or
Yeah,
whatever, you know. And yeah, because in Hawaii, like you're telling me that you can live off of $800 a month, and that's you have a partner too in Hawaii that will just get you, you're
food.
sharing, you're literally just buys you a room in like 4-bedroom house, and that's just
Yeah.
rent,
Shared. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And that's not even including everything else that you have to pay for. So,
No.
yeah, it's crazy, man, crazy. Um, okay, let's move on to another topic. So what is some of your biggest challenges of 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 being there besides, having to adapt to a new culture and whatnot? What are some challenges that you face in
Yeah. I think
20 years?
there's really like two challenges. One is to make enough money
Mm.
to support your family and be happy enough, making what you're making and living as you're living. That's the one big challenge. The other challenge is the culture. I mean, it's just go to 7-Eleven and people, you're standing in line and people come from the side and like stand in front of you off to the side, and they'll just jump in front of you or the person in front of you when the opportunity comes, and it's like, do you
Mm.
let them do that or do you tell them? For the first 15 years, I told them, get to the back of the line. Like, who are you? Like, get to the back of the line. I don't know where
Right.
you think you are. This isn't China. And I tell them to get back. But
Mhm.
over time, like I guess I've chilled out enough that sometimes I'm just like, oh, whatever. Maybe they're in a hurry. And I might let like a lady, I usually don't let a guy do it to me, to be honest.
Mhm.
Almost never.
Mhm. Mhm.
Here's a story. I was at the bus station in Bangkok. I was going to go to Ubon. I was
Mhm.
standing in the line of the bus station to get a ticket. There's a guy in the military ahead of me. He's got like 65 rows of things. He's got like medals across his chest. He's a little bit shorter than me, but he comes and steps right in front of me, right when I'm ready to walk, to go to the thing. He steps right in front of me and starts walking. I go like this. I go, hey, I didn't know Thai. I just said, hey, get behind me. I don't know who you are. Get behind me. What
Get
are you
in
doing?
line.
Yeah. He goes, oh, and he smiles like giving me a chance to like say maybe like never mind. Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
My pen rai.
Yeah, maybe I. In the South, it's my plume, my plume. But no, I made him get back there, and he laughed, kind of like weirdly. But yeah, I could have got shot in the back. I mean, this is
Oh, so
they
he
don't.
was a Thai,
Yeah, yeah,
a
he's a
Thai,
Thai
like
guy.
a Thai military
Yeah, like
personnel.
that's our culture doesn't make sense to me to let
Mm.
somebody just walks in front of you and does that like rudely. Like I always straighten people out like that, and
Mm.
because in the States that's what you do. You don't really let anybody do that, right? But
Yeah, yeah.
here I could have got shot, literally shot in the back or the head. He could have pulled out the gun and like bam, that would have been it. It can be that crazy, and police do it every once in a while. Police will shoot a foreigner that's being stupid and kill them and drop them off somewhere. It's not often anymore. It seems like I haven't heard a story like that in 10 years. But when I first got here, it seemed like it happened a whole lot more. And ties with themselves, that's also how they resolve things. They may shoot 6 people in the street. Nobody will say whoever shot them, but that's
Mm.
how they resolve it. If there's a real problem, that's what they do. And so you have to be aware of that in business. If you want to create a bar like across the street from a successful Thai bar, and you're going to be pulling people in there, the foreigners that used to go to
Mm.
that Thai bar, you got to be real careful. There's a guy I know right now in Phuket. He's trying to set up a snake rescue type thing, but he's competing with the snake farm there, the snake show. And I told him, I said, he's my friend. I said, you don't really understand. You've been here for 4 years. You don't understand yet, like how it really works.
Mhm.
But a time may stop you from doing that. You're competing with them for money. You can't do that directly
Mhm.
like that.
Mhm.
A guy here wanted to start an elephant sanctuary in Krabi because the elephants are ridden on, they're abused, they're beat up, to break them. Just like a horse, you break a horse, right? You break an elephant, but you have to beat the hell out of it with like bamboo sticks and stuff. And this guy wanted to create a sanctuary for the elephants. And these all these Thai guys that have the camps all over Krabi didn't like it at all because he was going to take the elephants and he was like taking away their business by promoting this safe elephant thing. Elephants, not exploited anymore. He had shots, he had bullets in his front door when he woke up. Well, he didn't wake, it woke him up, but he had bullets, shot through his front door. And he stopped that idea real quick. So stuff like that. Culture can clash. We have good ideas. We think we want to save the world, save the planet, save the kids in the schools, and teach them our way. But Thais aren't having it all the time.
Do you
It's
think do you think this would be happening to another Thai person
yes,
that would be
yes, sure.
giving competition to another business?
It would be a meeting first that talk about it first, but if there was still the competition, the other place didn't want to close, they would eventually resolve it with they would resolve it
Mm.
quicker with a gun with a Thai person because I think they think a little bit before they start shooting at foreigners because it blows up, Thailand
Yeah,
Thailand
yeah,
really
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
becomes this unsafe place
Right,
then.
right, right, right. I know that the tourist police out there is really good about protecting the rights of tourists, and
Yeah,
especially
pretty
if you're
good,
an
right?
American or from the West, they
Mhm.
really
Yeah,
somewhat have are worried about that image.
yeah,
Bern, we're gonna have to continue
yeah.
this meeting. It's time is up for this recording, but you guys, I'm going to be linking all of Vern's website so you can check it out, see how he writes, maybe potentially hire him as a writer or even a consultation if you plan on locating here. I'm also going to provide a link to all his books that you guys can check out, that you can get from Amazon. Vern, we're going to definitely continue this meeting. Thank you for your time, and we'll be seeing you shortly.
Okay, see you, Eric. Thanks for the
Okay,
chance.
all
All
right.
right, cheers.